Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul 264-792 and I will present about my view regarding earning management as an ethical issue in view of Colbert's theory of moral reasoning. The problem of earning management is a worldwide phenomenon and has become one of the important ethical issues facing reliability of financial information. The great areas in accounting standard and the great deal of subjective judgment open a space for opportunistic accounting where managers improve position and the earning report do not necessarily reflect the underlying financial performance of the company. The manager, as the decision maker, therefore direct every part of the organization, and his goal in establishing integrity in this process is fundamental. The purpose of the presentation is I want to shed light on and introduce ethics of earning management to students in the academic community in light of Colbert's theory. So, what is earning management? Earning management is when manager use judgment in financial reporting and structuring transaction to alter financial report to either mislead some stakeholder about the underlying economic performance of the company or to influence contractual outcome that depend on reported accounting numbers. In other words, it can be interpreted as earning management that is consistent with the generally accepted accounting principle GAAP, earning management which is not easy to characterize from GAAP, and earning management that is obviously incompatible with GAAP. Okay, next is accountability of the manager. There is an argument stated that the published annual reports may have been manipulated by the management in a certain manner for specific reasons, such as evading the company tax costs or inflating managerial benefits. As such, providers of accounting information will possibly attempt to produce accounting results that favors their own interests. In addition, companies are often governed by their managers for the benefit of those managers rather than in the interest of their shareholders. Management have continued to select and follow GAAP in a manner consistent with the income maximizing hypothesis, and managers do attempt to smooth earning. There are two kinds of income smoothing, which is classificatory smoothing and non-classificatory smoothing. Classificatory smoothing refers to smoothing over the time of certain earning number through the reclassification of chosen item, not of all revenues and expense, while non-classificatory smoothing refers to the smoothing over time of all net revenues and expense through the manipulation of the occurrence of event, their accounting recognition of their allocation over time. Okay, this is our main focus, which is Colbert's theory of moral reasoning. Moral reasoning deals with how individuals think and what they consider about a moral situation. It is the process of determining right or wrong in a given situation. According to Colbert, we need to serve to motivate the maturity of moral judgment in order to have the opportunity to make decisions and consider ethical issues. Also, he maintained that moral action ought to be an indication of a maturity of moral thought. In his review of moral reasoning research relevant to business ethics, Colbert's work is very unique in the sense that theory suggests a sort of an integration of normative and descriptive approach to ethical behavior. This approach important in studying individual ethics in a sense that normative ethics is concerned with questions about how one ought to act, while the descriptive approach provides empirical investigation of people's moral understanding. The work of Colbert can be classified as a descriptive research to the extent that it describes individual moral development. At the same time, it integrates normative ethics as its investigation and description are carried out in view of the established prescriptive ethical theories. In the moral exploration process, the theory applies production measures which concentrate on an individual reason and justification for his view to elicit his own ethical understanding rather than concentrating on his behavior. What is more, Colbert does not concern himself with people's statement about whether an action is right or wrong. It is more informative to look at the reason a person thinks an action is wrong than it is to look at the person's action, which is behavior, or even to listen to what the person say is wrong, which is statement. The theory can be helpful in approaching earning management from an ethical perspective. Next, I will present about Colbert's moral judgment stage. He suggests universal stage of moral development which people go through irrespective of culture or society, and which are invariant, that is, they have a unique sequence and people never violates the order of the stage by attaining a higher stage without first passing sequentially through lower ones. In his model, Colbert identifies 6 stages of moral reasoning. The first 2 stages cover behavior not relating to avoidance of punishment and serving one's need. Stage 3 and 4 relates to individual taking society rules and incorporating them into their behavior. The final 2 stage 5 and 6 reflect the belief in the validity of universal moral principle, which bring justice and a sense of personal commitment. So I would like to give my view regarding this topic. In my point of view, the engagement of Colbert theory into earning management practice and concept can be provide useful insight into the moral reasoning of managers about earning management. In this respect, the importance and implication of Colbert's theory in terms of earning management reside within the fact that the theory is concerned with creation and how one ought to act, being as it acknowledges the well-known ethical theories. On the other hand, the work of Colbert can be classified as a descriptive analysis to the extent that it attempts to describe individual moral development. Primarily, this sort of integration of normative and descriptive ethics in turn enable the theory to be used to explore managers' moral reasoning in a more helpful way. In view of this, and given Colbert's fundamental belief in a correspondence among moral reasoning, social interaction, and moral behavior, Colbert theory can provide worldwide implication on predictability and guidance of earning management behavior. As a result, this can aid in mitigating adverse practice of earning management. The work of Colbert seeks to explore understanding through explanation and justification rather than through simple words, indicating respondent approval and disapproval about a certain issue. More specifically, the theory used production measure rather than recognition measure. In my opinion, this way of investigation can be very helpful in view of the sensitivity of the topic of earning management, that is, sensitivity related to a criminal dimension and sensitivity related to ethical consideration of research rule. In my outlook, with the usage of interpreting qualitative research, Colbert's way of analysis can be advantageous in topic which is closely related to the perception about deception and also fraud, such as earning management itself. In view of this, Colbert moral hierarchy can be suggested as an appropriate framework for investigating managers' moral reasoning towards earning management behavior. Because of its depth analysis, Colbert theory can be very helpful for further qualitative research into more detailed work in this topic. Colbert's view of justice ethic being the qualities of respect, reciprocity, and equality may also apply within the manager-stakeholder relationship. This view, if it is further investigated and linked to the financial reporting process, may help to guide appropriate professional judgment and to maintain objectivity and also independence in the delivery of earning reports. So in short, Colbert maintained that moral obligation is an obligation to respect the right and claims of others, either individual or society. This sort of responsibility stressed by Colbert typically applies to users of financial information and earning report in particular. Thus, at least from this perspective, Colbert's theory begins to contribute to the field of earning management ethics. So that's all from me. Thank you.